Hello and welcome to this, your Leo September 2025 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel St. James, clairvoyant. Well, this month, to help us work out what the predictions are for you and to see what your state of mind might be, we have a thing called the William Blake Tarot, which you just never see around anywhere. William Blake was an Englishman who died in about 1820, thereabouts, I think. He was a poet and a painter, amongst other things. And of course, as is so often the case with artists during his lifetime, he was ahead of his time, I think. People just thought he was crazy. And as I say, with artists, and you would appreciate this, I imagine, that very often with artists, people don't really get the value of what someone has done until after they're dead. And people definitely did see the value in his paintings and in particular his poetry, which is really mystical. So we may get some mystical insights as well as see what the forecast and predictions may well be for you. Now, as a clairvoyant, you know that I offer you clairvoyant readings wherever you are in the world. They're charged for. The details are in the description. Now, what I do not charge for, what I provide for free, and can go anywhere from 10 minutes to an hour or so, is the spiritual gift of healing. Absolutely free. No expectation, no obligation, nothing will be sold or recommended to you. You could have some emotional issue or some grief or sorrows, getting over problems. You could have issues with work. Now, there are no video advertisements breaking their way into this, you'll be pleased to know, so we get to enjoy it together without any interruption. So let's see what there is in store for you, shall we? Woman of Poetry. Poetry. Five of Science. Going down here, the bottom area of this for some reason, I don't know why. There is Union right in the center. Very cosmic looking painting there. What's this? The Three of Poetry. And finally, what is there now for you? I always love doing your reading. Let's have a look. The Seven of Science. Right. Why don't you come and sit down here next to me? I'll also bring the camera around so everybody else can see, you know. And together we'll look at the images and see what they reflect of the cosmic energies swirling around you now while I do the reading for you. What a great month for you, great. This is a turning point for you when things are going to start really moving better for you, also great healing. Now there is some, what's it healing of? I think it's healing of these thoughts that are within your mind. You see the world as it is and you just go flying on. Creativity is a big theme here for you, and it's asking you to make sure that you put into action the creative talents and abilities that you have been given. Let's look at this first. This woman of painting. Look, you know, I get a lot of Capricorn and Sagittarius around here. Now, notwithstanding these sort of mental, a bit of weeding of the mental garden, which will be going on over here, I think, there's a great degree of fruitfulness and creativity coming into play for you because you are going to be ambitious, affectionate and kind, very charming, I think, very practical as well. Very ambitious, but as I say, I think working with instinct and intuition at the moment just for this month, rather than trying to overanalyze things. Look at these things here providing the strength to this woman that's here. But you'll be hardworking and practical and sensible and creative. Now, quite interestingly, you will be somebody who is, well, maybe unusually for you, someone who is in a quiet and unassuming way, quite sexy and lusty. There's a lot of physical expression, if you know what I mean, going on. I also see you here being actually very attracted to someone, whether you choose to act upon it or not. And I also see that people are going to be just entranced by your magnetic being, and you are going to be very hard to resist. Just see what's coming from the painting. It's almost as if you have, in a sense, recently, haven't you, sort of come through the long, hard way through a desert. But now, you see, you've arrived in a fertile land here, and you can look back on that difficult path and say, I have overcome it, and I am stronger and wiser as a result. Now, I think her arms outstretched like that, they really symbolize the clarity, I think, of your enhanced powers of understanding at the moment. Now, you might notice that she is naked and fertile, and this is symbolizing your renewal here. And these things standing to the side here, I think that they reflect that you are going to be tough, tenacious, and independent. Now, of course, with a body like this, I think that this is also calling upon you, as she does, to take great care of your body, because she knows precisely what attention the body needs in order to reflect suitably that body as the temple of the soul, which of course is your internal beauty. Now, this applies to physical and cosmetic care, as well as it does to nourishment and care of yourself. This is speaking to me unmistakably now of you having a sense of prosperity and security. And that prosperity and security is because, as I say, there is now a turning point when you really start feeling better about yourself. Now, this is, I think, at the moment also saying to stay practical, compassionate, and have a nurturing attitude to other people, but also particularly to your own circumstances. Now, I think you might have been through a bit of a dry stretch on your journey, but now you have arrived in more fruitful surroundings. So now you can rest and devote some attention to yourself and to your physical needs. I don't want to go on about the body, but in what ways have you neglected your outer self? And ask yourself, do I really indulge too much of something? Because you should be saying, I give my body the gift of loving attention, and it gives me the gift of life energy, joy in living, and in health. Now, these things, I've got to say, this is a particularly strong card for healing and setting yourself back on the right course, which will be by getting a good understanding about where you stand and just flying on to success. Now, what's this talking about here? Well, first of all, let me deal with the astrology of it, shall I? Because this is talking about something which is unusual going on in your mind. Oh, I can see that's because there is Venus in the first decan of Aquarius. Well, Venus is the ruler of Taurus, which is an earth sign. But now in this card, Venus is coming into the air sign, a fixed sign of air. And the two really don't mix all that well because, like you, Venus is a lover. Although you can also be a fighter, I have to say, but Venus isn't. You are, of course, ruled by the sun. But Aquarius is a rebel, and it's ruled by Saturn. And Aquarius is a fighter. usually for causes. And I get the suspicion here that what I would call that individualistic, dispassionate nature of Aquarius clashes here with Venus, that is the planet of relationships and feelings, and so you might just feel down about yourself for a moment or two, and in particular have a fear of loss or defeat, a fear of it. It's not saying there's going to be a defeat. It's a fear of it, fear of defeat dominating at the moment. It might be, I think, because of what people have said to you. Do you know, I'm getting a feeling here that there is a lot of jealousy around here, because this fear, I think, is connected with relationships. It might also be connected with the beginning of something which is of great importance to you, where there is a fear of losing control, of experiencing the feeling that everything is slipping out of your hands. Now here we can see the central character that seems to be bound by a rope of some description, which actually, incidentally, if you were to continue it around that way, would form the image of the human heart, I can see. So your heart will be set free, because this arm is not bound, and you are going to lift this hand and understand that words, and particularly words of other people, have nothing to do with you. It might also be showing here that you could be so divided by your mental conflicts that you have become paralyzed or just weighed down and stopped. Maybe there's some negative thinking which is limiting your thoughts or possibilities. And that's kind of creating an unrealistic cloud of defeat around you. But look here, there is that plant growing in the background here, and that is saying that with those spring and sprouting flowers coming on both sides, some plants germinate best by dividing their roots, by getting right down into themselves. And this figure, you see, won't be able to emerge from the net by dividing it. When you think a task becomes too great, or a plant too overgrown, then cutting away, as I see this is coming through to say, then cutting away is necessary. And always remember that a group of problems taken together, you look at them as a group, they can't get solved. But when you divide them up, you are assured of success. Now these ropes are weighing down your sense of who you really are, a child of the beloved and a creative person. Will understand that there will always be somebody willing to hurt you, to put you down, to gossip about you, to run down your accomplishments, and to judge your soul. Now, sadly, that is a fact that we just must all face. However, if you remember that, the beloved is always standing beside you. When other people cast stones at you, you won't ever have the need to be afraid. Never, in this case, do you need to feel worthless, and never do you need to feel alone. Now, this is followed by this card here, which is connected with this, which looks like people striving to get to the top of something. And he might be wanting, as you might want to do someday, to get to the top of a mountain first. But you understand, don't you, that the jealous, the angry, the bitter, and the egotistical, they are the first to race to the top of mountains? A confident person like you just enjoys the journey, the people you meet along the way, and see life not as a competition. Now, these other people, yeah, they might reach the top of the mountain first, but their God is not waiting for them there. You might reach the summit last, because you know the beloved is not waiting at the top for you. It is down below, helping people understand that the view is glorious wherever you stand. Now, actually attached to that, and this is also being healed by this first card that you drew, is what I see here really somebody who is just turning away unnaturally from what they are born for, or what they are here for. Now, it's the moon in the third decade of Aquarius. The emotions of the moon cloud the intellectual qualities of Aquarius. So Aquarius is weakened, which can give you a lack of clarity sometimes. Could well be that there is, as a result of some of these things that you're getting over now, a sort of feeling of discouragement, oh, look, I just don't really know what I want, or it's too good to be true, or I don't have the energy, or I'm too old, or I could not cope with so much success. This person turning away here is turning away from the talents that have been bestowed upon you by the beloved in this situation, because you don't have the confidence to apply them. But this is saying that, yes, you do. You can. Take one step forward, then another, and the path will open up to you. How can I put this in a way, in a sort of a story form, perhaps? Or maybe like this. You can probably imagine the situation that when a man or a woman is going to die, the best thing is for them to have family members sitting around with them and praying as they cross over. But imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed and standing around your bed are the ghosts of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, and that you, for whatever reason, you never went after that dream. You never leant in for that kiss. You never said those words. You never used those gifts. And imagine that there they are, standing around your being, these ghosts, with their large, angry eyes, and saying, "We came to you, and only you could have given us life. And now we must die with your body forever." And imagine, if you will, what love, what words, what gifts, what creative miracles will die with your body, because that will be their miscarriage in your bodily death. You know, the greatest wealth does not lie in the oil fields of the Middle East, nor in the gold mines of China or Australia. Do you know where the greatest wealth lies? It lies in the cemeteries. The greatness we have never seen, the joy never passed on, the words of sweet love never spoken, the talents, large or small, never, for whatever reason, never actually actualized and birthed. Birthed your creative talents. And you see that you are rewarded because here is basically the cosmic figure in a way that you become. There's completion here for you, maybe some travel as well. There is the breaking away from bondage of things holding you back and the burning off of karma here. There's a completion, but this completion is at the same time a new beginning, but on a higher level of being for you. Because now you will see yourself and the world as it really is. It's like this character here, the case that all clothing and masks have just become irrelevant and useless because you become one with your original nature, and you are caught up in the perpetual dancing motion of the universe of creativity. There's a completion of a project here for you. Your efforts are finally paying off. It has, maybe this is part of it here, been something of a long, hard haul. This could also be where that turning point is for you, but I think it's a turning point in your mind and how you look at yourself. But this is also a reminder for you to finish what you've started. You are now learning to take control of your own destiny, and you will be using the power of your will to get results. Now, I suppose I've just emphasized the word get results because I hope you understand that nobody ever gives you anything in life. You have got to go out and take it. Now, I do think it's possible for you to see things now as they really are, and the stage is set for a new beginning or a favorable completion. And the events in your life now are becoming in harmony with the universe. Ask yourself this: from what aspects of your life is it time to walk away from? What aspects in your life is it time to free yourself from? Is there a journey or an enterprise waiting for you to set it in motion? This is a really good time for you to trust your instinct. And why don't you make a list of all unfinished situations whose tying off will give you a sense of relief? Maybe say this to yourself too. This is not an affirmation. This is a truth statement. I love to travel. I love to explore the unknown. I am excited about bringing ideas and creative projects into form. And I deeply value the contribution I make to the people and environment around me, and really it is the case that I feel one with the beloved and with the universe. Now, finally, I think it's here, and if I'm looking at this, this is good, because this is your planet of the sun. And where is it? It's sitting in Aries, the second decan of Aries. the 31st of March to April 9. Look, the Sun is also exalted in Aries, and so this placement is really very good for you. And I've got to tell you that Aries always enjoys a challenge, and you are up for it. Now, your Sun, when it is sitting in Aries here, where it is exalted, is happiest when your life is moving forward and active here. So there's a blossoming with you now. That's the result of almost like an inner awakening, in a sense. Your body, intellect, and spirit are going to be in harmony. And out of this state, a real sense of purpose comes into being for you, which is not going to permit any lazy compromises. You really at this time now are in a situation where you will give your power free play without giving it over to anybody else. You've got a direction to head in. There's a direction to head in. So stay centered. Pay attention to your own point and internal stillness. And surely there are no reasons anymore for self-doubts, are there? If you are not centered or feel doubts lingering within, then listen to this again, because you should be saying this to yourself now. I have the power, the ability, and the determination to go out and get what I deserve, because I am good enough, I am lovable, I'm important, I matter, I'm beautiful, and I deserve the best. What a particular, interesting and great spread for you. Made so much better for you being here.
Well, I really enjoyed your company during that, and I'm sure that you will have enjoyed the reading as much as I did providing it to you. Now, unless I see you in the meantime, either for a clairvoyant reading or for a healing, then I'll see you here again next month. And until then, though, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.